Imagine losing a word. You're nuts. No, I'm nuts. You're nuts. I'm nuts. Wait a second. You're in the ocean now. You're on a boat, and you're running by knots. Just like the Earth is in space. And as the space moves, do we move in it, or we're moving just like the knots of a boat? So this is what I have to say, and I've said this in every video for the last 5, and I'm going to repeat it. Step number 1 is the first 24 parts of the day. And the first 24 parts of the day is when I'm facing you like this. But you see my chair, the way it goes around? It's pulling me back. Do you see how it pulls my head in and pulls my head back? Okay, so that's the end of number 1. Number 2, the 4 parts of the day. 4 parts of the day, this is part number 1. Now, imagine, I'm not moving in my chair. I've just went 1 part of the day. I'm looking in that direction. The Earth has moved me to look in that direction. You want to know about astrology and how things work? On the next part of the day, I'm pointing like this. And I'm looking in that direction. I haven't moved. I've been doing the same thing all day. And all of a sudden comes the next part of the day. I'm looking into this direction. And usually on the last part of the day, I'm looking at that direction. And I went to sleep and I got up. So there's 4 parts in a day. You're looking at 4 different angles. 4 by 90, if you want to count them that way, is 360. 19 by 19 is 361. Christ was born on the 360th day of the year. Okay, there's a whole mix-up with time and everything. Nobody knows that there's more and more and more. This is 1 piece of pie. Okay, I have 225 numbers. 15 times 15 is 225. Every number means something. It goes somewhere. I don't know what it is to start. I play with it. Oh, I did that yesterday, and I did that yesterday, and I did that yesterday. I got such a headache of everything I did yesterday. My brain decided to remember so I can go on to tomorrow. Seems like it was yesterday. What you're doing now, you're trying to figure out, but it's never today. Tomorrow you'll reflect. So we saw as I turned around 4 times. Now there's another way to look at this 4 times, okay? Imagine this is the Earth, and it turns around 1 day, and it shifts 1. And it turns around 2 days, and it shifts 1. And it turns around 3 days, and it shifts 1. And it turns around to the 4th day, and we got 4 days, 1 day, and 4 days. You know the Monopoly game? From the side, okay, from the corner, you move the next 4, in which you cannot move the next 4. You can only move the next 3, because the first one after the corner of any one is 1, and you have 2 dice. So you're going to move 2, 3, and 4. On the 5 roll, there's only 2, 3, and 4 that you move. B, C, and E. It's almost like saying, hey, get me out of jail. I don't know which one today. So we get 4, 1, and 4. Now, if we do the whole corner in Monopoly, we get 1, we get 9, and then we get the corner again. Because the reason we get 1, 4, and 1 is because, first of all, 1 and 4 is A and N. It's number 14. It's part of Einstein. It's the center of the cross. 1 times 4, 1 plus 4 equals to letter D. It totals out to 9. The minute we go on to the next letter from D and the sound of E, it's F, and that makes 11, 9, 11. And at the same time, it says Federation and Command and Create, because it adds up to 33 by going MNO inside of Rubik's Cube, inside the telephone, inside the alphabet, in the gematria tree, or wherever you want to go, whatever you're going to talk about in the past, whatever you have seen in the past, whatever you have mentioned on paper, I can put it to numbers. So it can be any number at all. But you know that the more you're off course, the more larger I would have to become in order to study it, because I'd have to find back where you are. I mean, you can't just tell me number 23. I'll say win. Why win? Because ways to get to 23, or what 23 can do. First of all, 23, okay? W. E, I is 9. N is 14. 2 times 7 is 14. 2 plus 7 is 9. 9 and 7 is 16. 1 and 6 is back to 7 again. How do we get these numbers? Can we get them only uniquely? The way we get 76. 7 by 6 is 42. But if 7 and 6 is 42, 34 and 76 make 110. It makes a fixation of the twin towers, the 10-10. result. 7 and 6, the spirit of 76 comes from 1 and 6, which is A and P, which creates the G letter, and also creates the third level, which would be P, and then the third level would be Y, and that would be the split, the DOG, the DOG. 474, Einstein, 1776, 4 by 7, 28 days, 7 months of 31 days. 13, 31, 13, check out the roulette board, it says 57. 31, 13, 31, 75. In the roulette board, it adds up 57 with 3 numbers, that means it's 3 times 19. Did you hear what I said? In the roulette board, it'll say orphelin, and it'll be 3 numbers, and it'll add up to 57. And the number 57 is, if you divide it, you can divide it 3 times, it'll equal to 19. It'll also say H-E-N-Z, like in Heinz. On the other side, it's going to say 75. And that'll be 5 numbers that make it, so it'll be 25 per each one. One would go to 25, the other one would go to 16. 4 by 4 makes the 16, 5 by 5 makes the 25. 25 and 16 equals to 41. That's the Monopoly board starting all over again. There's so many things. I got it right here. What else was there? 5775 is the next Hebrew New Year's. Okay? And the trumpet will sound. And I will guarantee you that trumpet will sound. But before, let me take a break to say this. I am part Ukraine, part Romanian, part from Hungary. As far as I saw, we had a thing about the family in the region, and my family was included. And we came out here in the 1800s, and for the first time in my life, and I think my father, for the first time in my life, I'm 50 years old, I finally saw a picture of my grandfather when he was about 45 years old. I am older than my grandfather that I never saw, and neither did my father ever see his father. That is the weirdest shit in the world. Not only that, he didn't see his sister, and I think his mother passed away at the age of 52. So he didn't really see his mother that long. I think it was the age of 14, where I got sick at 41, he was 14. Sesame Street, the exchange of the streets. So we went on with the numbers, and we were talking. What other number were we talking about? We had 474. If you take the 1 and the 7 and you put it over each other, it'll create the 4 looking like design. And at the same time as it makes the 4, it also creates the J. The 4 creates the J. And the 4 is D, and if you add up A to D, and D is on the 2nd level, and it retains with himself A, B, and C, it equals to 10, which is the 10th letter, which is the J letter. So we talked a little bit about Monopoly, size of palettes. We did number 15. Okay, what we were talking now is on the roulette board, okay, where it says orphelin and orphelin. I'm going to see if I can bring it up here for a second. We're going to make this an 11-minute video about, see if I can come up with this style just to see about the numbers. And, okay, let me make this bigger. I don't see it. 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 Let me get these other pictures over here. And I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it. Okay, even if I don't see it, okay, what happens is on part of the roulette wheel, there's a bunch of numbers that say 57. If you average out those 57, it becomes 19, 19, and 19. The only way to create 19 is either by 1 and 6, which creates 6 and 7, which is your spirit of 76. But on the 2nd level of creating it, 1 and 6 was 7, right? 3 and 4 will make the same discovery as 3 plus 4. Equals 7. 3 times 4 equals 12. 7 and 12 equals to your 19 again, 10 and 9. So that's the only way it'll happen. And that's you get your spirit of 76 right out of alpha beta. So at the same time we get this, we have 3 numbers to equal to the 57. We have 5 numbers to equal to the 75. 3 and 5. 7 and 3 is 10. 5 and 5 is 10. We're back to the 10-10 world. 3 and 5, 3 by 5, 3 plus 5 equals 23. So it comes right from creating the spirit of 26 is creation number 23. Now, the evildoers of this world must duplicate however they got to it. And obviously it's through gematria. And they matched our tree, one tree for one tree. Somehow they matched the system. Somehow they were, no one was made for them to match the system. Who are these people? Well, we think we're in this war, and the presidents and people are running after this money. It's because somehow either A, we're that dumb, or the system was made to have these people from other kinds of societies that were here before us, and they would live off their old thinking, their old ability to take off the world, and because they know their life is eternal, okay, and because they know their life is eternal, just the way I feel I know my life is pretty much eternal, they don't really care about much. And since they're all hooked up and they have everything, they'll do what they want. So anyways, otherwise than that, we ended up having, like I said, 5 by 5 is 25. 3 by the 25 equals to the 75. Or 5 or 5 or 5 times 15, the egg equals to 75. So 50 will give you your 75. How other can we do this? 5 by 5, 5 plus 5 equals 35. Quebec equals 35. Another thing I wanted to show you, 31, 13, 31. 30, 40, 75. 75 and 13 is 88. 88 and 31, that's right, 9, 11. 57 and 31 is 67, 77, 87, 88. We run into the same numbers. 31 and 13, Barack Obama. 31, Herbert Hoover. 13 later, number 44, Barack Obama. When all actuality, Herbert Hoover was 30, and Barack Obama was 13 later, 43. So we're in the 43rd president right now. The other thing I wanted to say before we end, I'm going to do something on Nibiru in the next video. The numbers, okay, the number for Nibiru, remember this number, 39. This is the highest number you get when you connect two sides of the roulette board between 18 and 21 and present the letters R and U. To create the birth on the leap year, we need the B and the I because it becomes 2 and 9, or what it can say is September to November, which would be 9/11 right here. Why? Because the November is the 2 marks of 11, and if we look at them as Roman numerals, it's 2 in all actuality. And even if we said 11, we'd know it as 2, but on the next level. And then the first part of it, we have N and I. Oh, we have it right here. We have ADI. What are we going to talk about with this? Innie, is it in, is it not? The belly button it mentions. I'm not really sure because this brings up Rubik's Cube. 1 times 4, 1 plus 4 is 9. 9 and 14 equals 23. The 23rd letter is W. It spells win by the street. So this word tells us something. Whoever made up this word, there's a word inside this word here. But it's in by night, down the avenue, boardwalk, down the street. 73 around in Monopoly. If I remember, will bring you to Oriental. I know some of this world is already connected to the other side. The moon. Do you think? I'm ending this video, but I know I didn't get to where I want to go. The other thing I want to remind you is this. Number 43 does connect you, okay, to the Baltic Seas. Why? Because number 43, which also I think is hot and cold water, 4334, it reflects JFK, whatever JFK was standing for. The Baltic is number 43. If you go around the board and then hit 3 more, you hit the Baltic. The same time you get the medication if you hit 41, which is 41 is right here in Monopoly. 41, you go around to go and you start all over again. Where do you start? If you start on the next corner and you get 14, you're 1 before the railway. 14 is 1 before every single railway wherever you go around Monopoly. Number 14. Just 1 more before Pennsylvania. So we did number 31, 13, 31. And the 3 and the 4, when you multiply your own 3 and add your own 3, you get 6 and 9, 15, A and E. When you do it with the 4 by 4 and 4 plus 4, you get P and H, like pharmaceuticals. When you add pH together, it equals X24. 2 and 4 is 6. 1 and 5 is 6. When you go 4 plus 4 is 8. 8 and 16 is 24. We have 6. We have 6 in both locations. We have 6, 6, and 6. The total of these two equals to 39, which is S and T. And 39 also equals to R and U, equals to 39. So the other 39 would be the center of 39, which would be 17 and 20, and it'd be the letters TQ. Well, why don't we just say TQS? Something to do with our television, because I think they have 110% and that little lamb on it, and it's definitely connected in that number. Why are they connected? TQS? Because T, 20, center black, Q, 17, and my favorite numbers to play, and S, the first number, right? And the creation of your birth, spirit and birth, 1 and 9. The only two that make like 10 man 9, Gold Bond Medicated, Old Spice, Copper Tone, Chevrolet, and all these new commercials that are coming this year. This is only to promote what's going to be in your head for the next year until the final day, until it's crunch time. But we all know at the end it'll never happen, but it'll get scary at one point. I can guarantee you that. At some point, when we start believing there is truth and there is scariness, we'll be scared, but there's going to be a change. It's going to be a big change. Raphael 7286, Center Constellation of Pegasus. I'd like to thank you for watching. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. What did I miss? Why don't we look at it this? A wolf is wolves. A wife is wives. A 5 is the 5th. So what do we say all this? It's all number 5. It goes all to the center, and in the center, V exchanges for an F. And then it means instead of a 6, it becomes a 4. And as a 4, if you multiply by 1.5 in blackjack, you get spirit to live as man 6. That's why blackjack pays 1.5 to 1. Thank you for watching.